Hey, this is Nicole, and I thought it would be helpful to talk about when I think you should pay for things and when I think you should do them yourself, especially if you're in the early part of owning a business and you can't spend money on everything. These are things that would be helpful. I was thinking, I wish I would have known these things, I guess, when I was starting off. I would say do a website design yourself if you're good at writing, outlining, and pictures. That's the part that takes the longest, like I said, is getting all the stuff together. And but if you're good at that, if you're good at content and good at organizing, and it's especially even too if this is your first website, this is a good DIY thing, because when you hire someone, when you're ready to make that leap, you'll know more of what you want. If this is if you pay someone for the second design or the third design of your website. If you know most of what you want to, that really helps. And having some identity to work with, whether it's a logo, color, something like that, to kind of constrain you a little bit, can help you design something that looks coherent. Social media, if you're a social media user yourself and you understand kind of how these sites sort of generally work, that can be really helpful. If you're disciplined enough to check it every day, I would say that's also helpful. And if you can come up with a bunch of ideas of things you want to say right now, then that's a good sign too, because that means you're not going to run out of ideas. So email marketing is a good thing that you can do yourself. In terms of setup, you kind of need to know a little bit about things like APIs and merge tags. So you got to be a little bit of a geek to set it up, I would say. But there's nothing wrong with you paying for someone to set it up and then you do it yourself afterward. Like you do the email sends, but you have someone set it up for you. And if you know how to make basic like website edits, it's very similar to doing in terms of like, how to change the font color and like how to, move stuff around. It's a very similar interface to a website designer type service. The email marketing template is very similar to that. So logo and brand design is good if you're gonna, if you're not sure what you want, if your idea is kind of a one-off thing. So for an example, in our case, is we tried to do this marketing workshop for restaurants and food service type businesses, and I called it Making More Bacon. And I just knew I wanted like a little pig that was kind of had dollars or something. I don't know. I knew sort of what I wanted, but I wasn't willing to pay money to have someone like develop this idea over the course of weeks or months. And, because I also wasn't going to print it really large format, and I wasn't going to, I didn't need it to be high resolution. I could just use an online service for it. You could do print designing yourself if you have some kind of, like I said, some guidelines to go on so that your stuff can seem like it looks consistent. If it's going to people who already like you, that's also good, because they're not expecting something to be like an amazing and perfect every time. But whatever you do, like, it's good to test something out before you pay a service to make like 1,000 copies of it, because you never know. Here are some things that I like in terms of saving time and resources when I'm doing it myself. So PicMonkey is a service I like a lot. You can use it to overlay text on photos. They have templates available that you can modify and they look nice. And because there's a lot of social media sites that work with pretty photos, it's a good thing to use. And like I said, you can use a template, you can overlay some text on it, and you can make it look really, really designy and professional. And they have a lot of great tutorials online too if you want to learn more about this, or I'm happy to sit down with any of you and show you how to use it. Another thing is you can use stock photo websites. So for example, when I made a new online course called e-commerce, I was just looking for like somebody who was shopping online. So I found a picture of someone on a computer, and then it looked like they had a shopping cart on their screen. And then I did a pink overlay, and then I wrote e-commerce 101 on top of it, and I put a cute border around it. And it looks professional. but it's basically just a modified stock photo that I used PicMonkey to make more interesting. Another tip I have for you about stock photos is sourcing from a local photographer. So if you are online and maybe you follow a photographer on Facebook, or maybe you're on some of the photography sharing websites and you notice the style of someone you particularly like. We've done this with a few websites we've designed. Is we've emailed the person and said, hey, we really like your work. We want to license 5 or 6 photographs from you just for the use on this website. And they've been really great to work with, and they haven't really been expensive. So just know that that's a possibility. And, there are free stock photo sites, and I have the link here. But if you just Google free stock photo sites, one of them is pixelbay.com. One of them is pexels.com, pexels.com. But there's a ton of them, and you can find stock photos that'll work for your particular purpose. You can use online logo generators. And this is what I used about that Making More Bacon seminar that I was talking to you about. It's great for a one-time event or concept or some kind of beginner logo. You can't really blow them up because they're kind of low resolution. They're not vectorized, but it's fine for like an online or just a poster that you're going to print up as, an 8.5 by 11 type thing. So I just went to this logo generator website and typed in some random words, pretending I'm starting a cake store. And it starts giving me, as you see, it gives you some sample logos. And you can, as you see, this is page 2 of 8. So there's lots of them out there. Now let's pretend I liked one of them and I just didn't like the colors. You can actually change those within this interface too. So I almost clicked the next button. It looked just like the website. I will say plug and play website builders are really great to make a basic website. And I think you only need to pay when you want something either custom or kind of complex. Or maybe you just want someone to take care of it for you, and that's fine too. But plug and play websites have come a long way in the last few years in particular. You can also look up, exists idea generators. So if you're stuck on what kind of blog post to write or what kind of, sometimes you just see a bunch of the wrong things and it can give you an idea of the right thing. So here's a couple of idea or topic generators that can help you come up with ideas of ways that you can look at your material in a new way. If you want a free online payment form, there's something called InspirePay. You can have it connect with Stripe, which is that online processor I was talking to you about. They all the InspirePay sites kind of look the same, but you can basically collect either a set amount of money or an open-ended amount of money by taking someone's credit card without having to install special software on your website. So I have a friend who uses this for his invoicing and stuff to let people pay online. Google Voice is great because it offers you a free phone number and it'll actually transcribe your voicemails and email them to you. I use this as the phone number for my office space. I didn't want to get a whole other smartphone and a whole other line. So what I can do is I can either have it forwarded to my smartphone, and it actually indicates that it's anchor space when it calls my smartphone, so that I know how to answer the phone. I can also, though, I just bought a really cheap track phone that I'm going to keep here at the office, and I can just have it send there. And I can also, if I really wanted to use like an old school cordless phone, I can get a little Google Voice kind of interfacer that connects between my internet modem and my cordless phone that will take my Google Voice number and it'll make it ring on a real cordless phone. So this is a cheap way to get a secondary email phone number or secondary phone number. Basically, databases like Google and other, services don't like it when you use the same phone number for multiple businesses. So it's nice to have a separate phone number. And that way, if you sell one business too, you can, have a clear separation between things because it has a separate phone number. If you want to spend less money on online ads, testing one variable at a time to a specific audience at a small price point, instead of saying like, oh, I'm going to take out a $100 campaign, take out a small campaign, find out what works better. And then when you're ready to spend that money, you know what works. It's usually cheaper to advertise to people you're already connected to. So, advertising to your own Facebook fans is cheaper than advertising to brand new people. And think about using less competitive markets. Like like I said, most people don't make videos. So if you make a little video ad that shows on YouTube, chances are, especially if you go after like a local business market, most businesses don't have them. So you can probably get some cheap ads that way. And consider using affiliate advertising just as a general idea. I have some blog posts about affiliate ads on my website that you can check out if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how affiliates work. Email marketing software, and I use Mailchimp. You can use any email marketing software. Resending the same marketing email to people who didn't open the email with a different subject line is a little trick that I like a lot. It's a way to increase your open rate without really spending much more time. I do use the RSS feature to send out my blog automatically, and that's a way to save me time and money. And you can connect it to your Google Analytics and see what your email subscribers actually do when they get to your website, which is interesting. Cross-list your merchandise on other services. Why not put your products multiple places and see where it does best? There's nothing wrong with experimenting as long as your products align with the different websites or the e-commerce sites that exist out there, third-party sites. There's no reason not to do this. The idea is it's not about not spending money, but it's about spending it where it counts and understanding what you're buying. And again, taking the time to build the relationships more than just having the transaction, because you're in this for the long haul. And that's how your business is going to survive, no matter what the economic climate is or what's going on. This next thing is I want to talk about a 15-minute marketing plan. So that's what I'm going to do in the next module is how you can use 15 minutes a day to do more online marketing. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next video.